So I did something today that I typically don't do, and I gave away some money. I don't give away money. And let me tell you why. Part of the reason I don't give away money is because I've worked in government, and I know that there's social programs that typically help people who are actually in need. And I also believe that if you participate in a program, that says something about the kind of person you are, and so I think that's important, right? So that piece is important. But I went to a sandwich shop, one that they build, these healthy sandwiches, or as healthy as they can be for a fast food place. And so there was a woman there, and she and her 6 kids were there, and it was funny because the sandwich people, the staff at the sandwich shop, were a little bit nervous dealing with this woman, and the woman was somewhat embarrassed on top of everything else, right? So, and the thing that made this woman, or made them nervous about this woman, was that she had all of these, she had these 6 kids, and they all looked pretty similar, right? I mean, they look like brothers and sisters, and all the girls and the mother were dressed with their hijabs, not headscarf. If I hear one more person say headscarf as opposed to talking about it as being a hijab, I am going to, because she was Muslim. All right, so I'm talking specifically about a Muslim woman in a hijab. So if you want to wear a rag on your head and call it, a headscarf or whatever, or you have a very ordinate wrap that you want to use and you want to call it a wrap, that's cool. But this whole headscarf thing is just gotten way out of control, right? So if you see someone who you believe is Muslim or Arab, it is okay to call it a hijab. You don't have to call it a headscarf. And you'll get lots of points if you do. All right? So, but back to that. So the woman is there, and she is looking for her wallet. And she is not able to find her wallet. And so I was in line. I have an addiction to this particular restaurant's chocolate chip cookies. And I just love these chocolate chip cookies, but they did not have these chocolate chip cookies. And so as I'm waiting in line, I see this thing unfold. I'm flustered. I'm like, they don't even have the cookies. So I start walking out, and then I start walking towards the door, and something says, pay for her lunch. Pay for her lunch. So I go back, and I said, ma'am, do you mind if I pay for your lunch? She said, no. My husband will be here. He will drive over here, and he will give the money and that kind of stuff. I said, ma'am, I said, I will pay for your lunch if you don't mind. If you take that as an offense, I will walk away, and you can deal with that, and blah, 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 blah. And so she looked at me, and she smiled, and she was embarrassed, and you can just see her kind of body just kind of like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. And so I did it. And as they swiped my card, I put it back in my pocket, I started heading out the door, and she told the children to say thank you and goodbye. So I turn around and I see the future. I see these little babies who are growing up in a world that is giving them mixed messages about who they are, and about how they should be treated, and how other people will be treating them. And then I knew exactly why I was paying for that lunch. Because those babies need to know that there are people who don't know them, who care about them. Those babies need to know that as they reach out to other people will reach out to them. And it won't be everybody that does it, and it doesn't need to be everyone. I know one of the things that I know about having a garden, or I can imagine that this metaphor carries on to having an orchard. I don't need all of my trees to produce, but I need my good trees to produce good fruit. Every one of my vines isn't going to produce the same quality, but I need my good ones to keep producing the good fruit. And so when you think about the way that you interact in the world, when you think about the times when you may be embarrassed for someone or by someone, when you think about the opportunities that you have to give and to be a part of someone's lives, I want you to think about the fact that you could be impacting 2 or 3 generations of people by your actions. I could have said nothing, I could have done nothing, and nothing would have happened. Nothing would have happened. My name is Koen, and that is today's principle.